My name is Dr. Jeremy Fletcher. I'm an assistant professor at the University of South Alabama. I'm also in the Department of Physical Therapy. I'm also the parent of a child with autism. Her name is Jamison, and she's 10. Scott has asked me to talk a little bit about my experiences with both patients with chronic pain and the role of what they call the mirror neuron system. And he's also asked me to share some of my own observations about my daughter's perspective and how those things relate to Project Outreach. So like I've explained to Scott in the past, the mirror neuron system is an area in the brain that helps us to determine really what socially is going on around us. There has been literature that looks at the role of the mirror neuron system in children with autism, and what they found is that there are deficits. So what does this mean for our children? What it means is that there's a role for a connection with other people. It means that there is a place in our brain that when not activated, we're no longer able to connect with other people in a social environment, especially as we attempt to look into their faces and look into their eyes and see what it is that they're trying to tell us. I think one of the beneficial aspects of Project Outreach is it's meeting a biological need for other people to mirror what is right, what is wrong, what is socially acceptable. When you take someone that has a healthy brain, that has all the components working, and pair them up with someone else that doesn't have all these healthy components working, then the two can be paired together and both parties do benefit. So I think that's one aspect of Project Outreach that is serving a huge need for these children. At the same time, we could also think about what is the role that's of the typical child, and what is it about their brain and the emotional needs perhaps that are not being met that the child with autism is also being of service to this other child. And that's very, very exciting when you think about these two people coming together to meet each other's needs. It's very, very exciting, and it's one that has a physiological basis, and that's what makes it even more exciting, is that we can learn more things about it. So Jamison has been out of school for the summer, just like most children have been. And what Cherish and I, my wife, what we've observed is an increase in the amount of pretend play. And that used to not be there during the school year. So now that Jamison is away from her peers and spending a little bit more time on the iPad, or trying to hang out with her younger brother and younger sister, we're seeing an increase in the amount of pretend play that's going on. And I think that's, again, directly related to the role of her typical peers. I know when I dropped her off at school, it was always amazing to me to watch 2 or 3 other kids come around her and circle around her, grab her by the hand and say, "Come on, Jamison, we're going to class," as if this other little small community is now taking her in and protecting her in some extent. So I definitely think there's another big benefit to constantly be involved around your typical peers. So as I think about my daughter's experience through school, I think teachers their time is already limited. And if you allow my daughter to just sit for 45, 60 minutes at a time by herself, that's what she's going to choose to do. It's not most likely going to be in her best interest, but that's what she's going to choose to do. And when I think about how to increase opportunities within the school setting, I think about the challenges teachers face, and I don't know if it can really be met any more than it already is. I think there's a greater role for the community at large to provide services, to provide opportunities to engage with typical people within the normal community settings like church and recreational opportunities and football games and all the other social events that we participate in a community. We need to be thinking about how do we engage children with disabilities within both of these settings, or many of those settings. So I think teachers can look to partner with organizations. They can look to partner with churches. They can look to be advocate for these children, to help bring about, and just ask the parents what their needs are. My wife just wants to go to the grocery store, with my daughter sometimes, and that's not possible. So they're really, really small things that I think that can be met as a community that can't be addressed just in the classroom. So I would encourage you to continue to participate in Project Outreach to the fullest extent possible. I've seen amazing things happen through this organization, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. Thank you.
Yeah, you can count on me.